In this video, we're going to take a look at the Interpolate module. Now, Interpolate is basically a declick tool, but it works on clicks that are shorter than 4,000 samples. You may hear the click. It may sound like some distortion, but you won't really see it in the waveform. It could be caused from maybe a glitch in the recording of the audio or a capturing problem of the audio. For example, take a listen through to this audio file over here and see if you can hear some very short clicks that are a problem with it. Here we're going to be using the de-essing module and seeing how many of those S sounds we can remove from this audio track. Did you hear those two clicks? There was this one and this one. So if you just look briefly, you might not have seen it. You might just have thought it was part of the waveform and not thought it was any cause of distortion. But looking here, if I zoom in on this area right over here, you can see there, when you get to a sample level, there's a problem with the waveform or the redraw of the waveform. Now, I can use the Interpolate tool to redraw this waveform and correct and remove that click. So I can select this. I'm just going to zoom out slightly so you can see what's happening. And then you've got this quality control that allows you to determine how complex the resynthesis of the audio waveform redraw is going to be. I'll just leave it set to the default of 200 and click render. So as you can see, that has redrawn that waveform. Now, if I zoom out and unselect and play back, here we're going to be using the de-essing module. It's removed that click. So if I just go back and undo that Interpolate and go here we're going to be using the de-essing module. You can see that click. And if I redo it, now it's removed it. Here we're going to be using the de-essing module and seeing how many of those S sounds we can remove. So let's see if we can work on this one right over here. I'm going to zoom right in to a sample level so you can see that click. So there it is right over there. I can select that, and this time let's use a lower quality to see what happens. So that smooths it out. Undoing that and going for a higher quality. That smooths it out even further. So just test out the quality and see how it redraws your waveform and see what works for you. So now we've got this. Those S sounds we can remove from this audio track. So a super simple tool, but it allowed me to get rid of those very fine sample level clicks that were causing some noise in the audio. So if I just go back, we've got those two clicks here. Here we're going to be using the de-essing module and seeing how many of those S sounds we can remove. And now with the Interpolate correction, we've got this. Here we're going to be using the de-essing module and seeing how many of those S sounds we can remove. So it allows you to get into a really fine detail at a sample-based level and correct the redraw of the waveform and clear out any very minor clicks like that are very short that you might not see in the waveform. So a very simple tool, but it gets the job done really well. And let's move over onto some other modules.